Hi, I'm Nick. This is 10 Minutes with Nick. We here at 10 Minutes with Nick like to think about things with a clear and sober mind. And by that, I mean we get all of our ideas drunk and then we edit them while sober. So it's taken me a minute to get around to the internet phenomenon known as the Tuah girl. If you haven't seen that clip, it's very easy to find. Now, the young girl's name is actually Haley Welch, and she is, let's be clear, she is two steps above a child. She's 21. Like, gentlemen, the interest in the Haktua girl should be cooled down a little bit, particularly by the millennials in my age bracket. It needs to. I bring it up only because it's happened again to a young influencer named Jolie Sharp, who is essentially the British version of the Haktua girl. She said something about beer in her face at a Euro Cup soccer game and football match, I suppose, if you're in England. And she has gone viral, and she's done a big post about, oh, thank you. I'm so honored to have gone viral. What are we doing? What are we doing? I know I said that this was going to be a clear and sober-minded post, but what are we doing? Now, look, both of these young ladies, they should chase their bag as hard as they can. And I mean that sincerely. I mean, in this moment, the eyes of the world are on you. So long as you don't do anything criminal, go get that money. Like, get it, make the money, spend it wisely. They seem to be doing a lot of charity work as part of it. Likely their management team is advising them as part of this, do some charity work. But they also may just be charitable-minded individuals. And that's great. But what does that say about us, society folk? It's connected to a couple of things, so follow me through. I'm going to focus a little bit more on making fun of Haktua Girl, right? The Euro version seems, she had beer in her face. I guess it seems a little bit more funny and wholesome. The one thing they both have in common is that they are both very, very pretty. I suppose they are also both very, very white, but that has nothing to do with it, or at least I don't believe it has a statistically significant effect on it. Plenty of African American women and men have gone viral for different things. My point being, let's focus on Haktua Girl. Haktua was in response to one of those on the street interview questions, right? The kinds of things you see YouTube creators do all the time now, which is one of the most, I've talked about this before, it's one of the most annoying things in the world. If they're not doing gotcha journalism, they're doing these weird on the street interviews where they find, it's like 30-year-old men who find 20-year-old girls and start asking them weird ass questions about like what the men in their lives have to make. First of all, I think half of the women are just smarter than the men and are just answering the questions sarcastically. Like, how much does your man have to make? Oh, he's got to make $100,000 a year. Yeah, the economics of that would, first of all, that's just a basic understanding of economics. That means that, like, oh, 6 figures a year must be a lot of money. It doesn't take into account the fact that in a lot of places, $100,000 a year really isn't as much money as one might think. Now, it's more money than most, but it doesn't get you as far as it used to. But they asked this girl a series of questions. She was very funny and very personable, and she was talking about some individual named Pookie. And then eventually the guy goes with the question that, he's been waiting to ask because he wants this on camera because he's a shock jock. Essentially, he's one of the shock jocks of the modern world. He says, what's your move in bed that really gets that really gets the guys going? And she walks up and she goes, you got to give him a hawk to spit on that thing. And that's the moment that went viral. And stratosphere launched her. It's not her fault she went viral, right? It's not, that wasn't a talent. That was just something she said off the cuff. That was a little moment of improv. It's not her quote unquote fault she went viral. She said something in response to a question. The world around her was set up in such a way that we thought that was a moment to coalesce around. What does that say about us? What's the problem with us that we got so excited about a young girl having a signature move in bed. Granted, keep in mind, the internet is not just people in her age bracket. You don't go viral by just appealing to Generation Z and Generation Alpha. You appeal by going viral to a broad swath, from the boomers who type with one finger to the millennials to the Gen Xers who type with their thumbs, but still scroll like that, to the millennial, on and on and on. A broad swath of mostly men got real excited about that. That's weird. That's real weird. I've talked before, and this will connect in a moment, so just follow me through. I've talked before about how OnlyFans is a weird segment of the economy in our population and how it's really just a trap for young women. But there are women who make money on OnlyFans, a lot of money. And it's not so much a problem of their moral failing as it is them understanding the moral failings of men better than men do, because the men are the ones footing the bill for the OnlyFans girls. They're the ones who follow this young Haley Welsh around, hoping, beyond hope, that there's going to be another moment like Tuah. And I would guarantee there's a large segment of her viral population of fans that are waiting for an OnlyFans to drop, begging for an OnlyFans to drop. That's weird. Scroll through the comment section on any relatively good-looking girl's post and count the number of times somebody says, "When's the OnlyFans dropping?" You're going to start to see a not so great part of our world. You're going to start to feel not so great about the gender, the male gender specifically. It's not good. It's really not good. And it's not, like I said, it's not Haley Welsh's fault. It's not Jolie, what her name is, in England's fault. So far, as far as I know, I don't know, I don't really do OnlyFans, but as far as I know, neither one of them has engaged in that sort of content. The world has made them viral in the hopes, or at least the male world has made them viral in the hopes that they will. That's bad. And that doesn't say a lot for the state of our world, that we look around and we hope and pray that young women will debase themselves for our pleasure. I mean, we talked about this yesterday in a much weirder, stranger context, but we're two steps into legal territory. Like, they're 21. These girls are like 21, 22. We're a hop, skip, and a jump into legal territory at this point. And that's not better. If you're waiting for young girls to grow up old enough so that they can debase themselves for your pleasure, that's not right. Technically speaking, you're not doing anything wrong by the letter of the law, but you should feel some kind of way about it. I certainly feel some kind of way about it. The fact that, this exists in society, and I don't know what we do about it. Frankly, I think we need Jesus, but I've talked about Jesus enough on this podcast, and I can't talk about him enough because he's quite literally Lord and Savior of the world. But I am also out of time, unfortunately. So you'll have to forgive me, JC. We'll have to get back to him another time. I'm Nick. This is 10 Minutes with Nick. Stop eyeballing these young women. This is 10 Minutes with Nick. Have a great day.